Well, hello there. Thanks for being sexy, you guys. Alright, Mandalore from Maul. We're finally going to be going over the light side Geonosis territory battles. I'm not going to read all of this word for word because y'all know how to read, presumably. Yeah, there's a lot to digest here. So, first off, Phase 1, altogether you're going to need 5 different teams. 2 of them can be generic light side, and you're going to need 2 full teams of Jedi and 1 full team of Galactic Republic. So that's a lot. You're going to need 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 light side G13 characters. Because if they're not G13, you fucked. And again, you're gotta make sure that there's no overlap, because you need 10 Jedi, and that doesn't include the other 3 teams, one of which is Galactic Republic again. So that's a lot. Phase 2, you're gonna need 6 teams, 5 light side, 5 with a GK, Gas, and Ahsoka Tano, which a lot of people aren't gonna be able to do. 5 generic light side, 5 Jedi, and 1 team with GK, Clone Sergeant, and Commander Cody. Phase 3, you're going to need a full 5 Galactic Republic Jedi team, an additional Jedi team, 5 generic light side, and then Shock T clones with ARC Trooper. Phase 4, you're going to need 2 generic light side teams, a Padme Galactic Republic, and then another Jedi team. So there's a lot. There is a lot. Luckily, Phase 2, the Gas Ahsoka Tano team, a lot of people are just going to have to forego for now. But yeah, so let's try and map out how we're going to do this while also looking at where my progress is, because even I feel like I am not ready for this. So we'll start with Clone Troopers. Basically, at the end of it, in Phase 4, you're going to need 23,000 power for a lot of your Toons. And you can see that a couple of my guys, at least in the clones, aren't quite there yet. So for a lot of these, the 21,000 GP requirements for the lower phases isn't too terrible. But the Phase 4 ones with the 23,000, that is going to be steep. So looking at mine, my guys are, Relic 4, 5, 6, and they're not quite there yet. So you're going to need fairly high Relic levels on most of your characters. Keep in mind, any character with a Zeta is a lot easier to get to that power level than a character without a Zeta. Like Clone Sergeant, no Zeta, he's Relic 5. You'll have a much easier time making those GP thresholds on characters that have Zetas. So make sure you plan ahead and you allocate Relic resources and or Zeta resources to the right characters in order to maximize your efficiency in trying to meet the GP levels. I'm going through my Galactic Republic characters here. We did the clones already, but just so you can see where my Relic levels are, my power levels are, where my mods are, just everything. I mean, even if you disagree with how I'm modding things, that's totally fine. It's your prerogative. I like the way I have things modded, but just going to show you, like my Zaris has a Zeta, Relic 2, she's not at that 23,000 threshold, so I'm going to need to boost her up. So yeah, that SB Crumb forums comment where relics aren't mandatory is bullshit. They're de facto mandatory just to get to the power numbers. So we're going to go through Jedi because you're going to need, at any given point, you're going to need 2 separate, maybe not any given point, but on a couple different points, you're going to need 2 separate Jedi teams and then a Galactic Republic team. So you need to make sure that you have a diverse roster, and this is where the problem is going to be. Do you split up Basta Lead from Jedi Knight Revan in order to make a separate viable, hopefully viable team? we'll get into it a little bit later, but luckily there's a lot of overlap between Galactic Republic, Jedi, and some other factions like Rebels or whatever. So you're going to have to triage, in my opinion, the characters that provide the most utility. They'll tick a few different faction boxes, like Galactic Republic, Jedi, Rebel, whatever, what have you. Juani, I actually, since recording this part, I have G13'd her. It was painful, but I wanted her as another taunter, just in case, for some extra optionality. And then we're going to go into the Rebels. Again, obviously there's some overlap between 3PO, R2-D2, Ezra, Kanan, Obi-Wan. So those kinds of characters are good. Those are the kinds of characters that you want to focus on if you haven't already, because they tick multiple boxes and you're going to be using them sometimes in different points. Scoundrels, light side scoundrels, also potential, I guess, second or third tier team for LSTB. Like I might throw Vandor Chewie and L3 in with CLS Chewie Han, because then at least maybe I don't have to worry quite as much about Han and Chewie dying. Resistance, hopefully going to be good, viable. They don't really rely, well, that's not true. They rely kind of heavily on the exposes for turn meter reduction. So we're going to take a look at some of the teams that I've come up with so far. But first I want to throw this CLS Rebels L3 team in there. Oh, no, wrong one. Just maybe this will have some viability, because there's plenty of DPS there. Maybe if we do that, there's going to be some survivability also. So that might be an option. Obviously, I'd have to get my relic levels up a little higher on Vandor and L3. But so these are the other teams I'm thinking. And again, this is splitting Bastila lead from Jedi Knight Revan. These are some of the teams that I'm thinking of. That CLS Chase team, probably not going to happen. Probably get rocked even if I G13 them. Yeah, at one point you're going to need a GK lead GR team, or it doesn't have to be GK, but it's a GR Jedi team, so GK would be the likely lead there. A lot of DPS on there. If you throw Zaris in, there's plenty of survivability, so that one could be interesting, bringing back the old GK lead meta. Yeah, it's gonna be, even my roster feels spread thin. Forgetting about the relic levels needed for Phase 4, but just in terms of the number of teams, and this is all without considering platoons, right? This is all without even considering platoons. So you're really going to need to plan ahead in terms of what teams you can produce, and you're going to want some optionality, some variability in them, some flexibility, because you're going to have to donate platoons, right? So I'm just going down my light side roster here. You know, if there's anybody else that you think that I should G13 and consider for a potential light side Geonosis territory battle comp, pipe up, because I mean, we'll have ARC Trooper coming in soon. That'll help certainly with a couple of teams. Again, for utility, looking at Galactic Republic, they're going to have the most utility, right? You're going to have Galactic Republic Jedi, you're going to have clones, you're going to have some overlap with Rebels on a couple of characters there, specifically the droids. So definitely, obviously, boost your Galactic Republic. Boost your clones, because they're going to have a lot of utility with the meta. Once you get your General Skywalker, you could maybe boost up Eth Koth. I've actually just G13'd him since recording this video, just because he's really good against droids. I'm probably going to have to remod him, but one thing at a time. So definitely, if you are more discerning with how you spend your money and your resources, definitely pick some of the characters that have overlap. They tick multiple boxes, like Old Republic Jedi, Galactic Republic Jedi, etc. All right. And we haven't even touched fleets yet. So looking at fleets just very quickly, I think everyone that has Negotiator, even if you don't have them 7-star, is probably on the right track. Of course, you could still revert back to the Admiral Akbar, but you're going to need the Negotiator for a couple of them, and I think if you can afford it, look at Y-Wing, because don't forget, almost everyone is running Negotiator in Fleet Shards arenas with Houndstooth. You're not going to be able to use Houndstooth, and the number of light side and even fewer Galactic Republic tanks, it's a very small, finite number. You have Sergeant off the bench only. Plo Koon can throw a taunt up on someone, and you have Y-Wing. So if you can, make sure you keep that in mind. Thanks.